Okay, going to Bob Chapman before we get into the economy, the kamikaze attack, and more. You just heard Traficant on, Bob. I know you were on hold. Man, it's good to see him up and fighting like this and surviving his railroading into prison.
Well, we certainly need him, that's for sure. This guy is fearless. As you said, he's stronger now than he's ever been. And I hope that his coming back will cause these people in Washington and in New York City spasms of despair.
Well, over 90% in polls now want to abolish the Fed or audit it. 75% are angry, Republican and Democrat and independent at government policies. Rasmussen, it's gaining a few points every week. I mean, the government is collapsing right now. Before we get into all the big developments in the last week in the economy that people tune in to hear your expertise on and your insight every week, the kamikaze attack. Is he a lone angry guy who was persecuted? Is it a setup? The fact that instantly they said Tea Parties did it, and then lo and behold, he was angry at the tax system is very suspicious. The reports we got that they had the emergency crews there, that was on the local news before it happened. We talked to multiple witnesses, not just the local newscast. The fact that one of our sources in the FBI said they had a threat to buildings, government buildings, the night before and dispatched Dallas agents. Was that because of his screed on the web? That doesn't prove inside job. The fact is we don't know. Looking at this, Bob Chapman, now 28 hours in, what do you think's going on?
There's a lot of conflicting information, and that makes it difficult. We're on the outside looking in. We're backing into what we think can be a solution as to why it happened. The Tea Party, I don't think, has anything to do with it. I think that this man was hounded by the Internal Revenue Service, and he saw all the things going on around him. He didn't like it. He was losing what he had. He wanted to get back at him, and he was prepared to die to do it. And I think that's what happened.
Continue.
As far as the emergency equipment being available before it happened, if the FBI was called or found out that he was going to do that because of something he said on the internet, I would think that would be a reasonable explanation as to why it was there, and maybe the FBI was onto the whole thing, but probably didn't know how to stop it.
Or didn't want to stop it so they could play the victim.
Well, that's true, too.
I mean, if they're coming down to Austin, or they already have emergency equipment out there, and all this is going on, they knew where his airplane supposedly was in Georgetown. Why weren't they there?
That's a good question. So if all of that is fact, that they didn't know where his plane was, they should have been down there guarding it or impounding it or something.
Well, we're not sure. I mean, this is what the source said, and that's just one of many reports as we tried to put all the evidence out there for all of our collective minds to come to a conclusion on. What about the larger issue? I mean, Traficant off air was going, hey, what about Austin? You're down there. This guy was fed up. We're sick of it. And then on air he said similar things. A lot of people out there want to believe that he did it on his own, and they like it. And I think that overall is dangerous because Northcom and the globalists normally bomb themselves as a pretext to crack down. And, I mean, I just think we're making such inroads right now peacefully. I don't know if targeting secretaries in an IRS building is a good idea or a good thing, PR-wise. What's your take on that?
I agree with you completely. And, you know, we've preached this on all of the shows that we've been on. Don't get sucked into the vortex of the government getting you to do things that they would like to do themselves, but if you're dumb enough to do it, well, go ahead and do it. And so with that said, we don't want violence. And I feel very bad that the man is now deceased. And there had to be another solution. I would say in retrospect, too bad somebody wasn't around who could have calmed him down and taken the ideas of destroying himself and in the process and possibly killing innocent people.
Well, here's what we know now. And I predicted this yesterday morning, and now they've done it last night and today. They want to put body scanners in, X-rays, security at all airports. Most airports maybe have 10, 15 planes. They're all over the place. And this will destroy general private aviation if they bring TSA-level control into the small airports. Now they announced yesterday, they already started this yesterday morning before this even happened, the Viper teams are now popping up everywhere with random checkpoints on the streets and at bus and train terminals. So they're certainly using this to put a giant police state Stasi in. What's next? If people use cars to run over cops, will we ban citizens having cars?
Well, I also heard yesterday of someone who defended their home by using a sword. And so they'll have to start outlawing swords and, of course, butcher knives and just about everything.
Well, Oklahoma just passed a law that you can't fortify your home with more than 3 deadbolts. You can't have burglar bars. They're now illegal because the criminal government wants in, and so do their little buddy criminals.
Yeah, I saw that. They're going all the way. There's no question. And they're trying to draw us into this. And again, what you've said is very positive. Don't go out and commit suicide like this gentleman did. It's not a good idea. It's not good for you, and it's not good for what we're trying to accomplish. We want to get people like Jim Traficant back into Congress. We want to get anybody into Congress except the people who are there with minor exception. And goodness knows you've heard me say this over the last couple of years on this program. We have to take Congress away from the people who are being paid off. If we can do that, we can get the Federal Reserve audited and then gotten rid of. We can get rid of executive orders. We can get rid of the Plunge Protection Team, which is a working group on financial markets, which is a executive order. We can get rid of campaign financing, and we can also get rid of lobbying. And in one fell swoop, in 6 to 8 months, with the right Congress, we could accomplish all of that. And at the same time, we could make inroads to disbanding Homeland Security.
Bob Chapman, with Ceausescu in Romania, or Stalin, or Hitler, or Mao, or any of these thugs and dictators, Pol Pot, pick your poison. I've seen a lot of police writing me letters, and they say, yeah, it's coming to the point where they're going to have to make decisions, and when government goes bad, it's no longer legitimate, and it's natural, God-given rights for people to defend themselves. And what I've been shocked by is the level of anger of the public cheering this guy on, and it's real. It's not provocateur. I wonder if the government, and I mean the minions that are going to be facing the true brunt of this, realize what 150 million gun owners, 16 million guns sold in the last year, 14 million last year, already more than 2 million this year, realize that if 1% of that 150 million decide to stand up and fight, that is 1.5 million people that are, that's unstoppable. Don't the globalists understand that they may have put us to sleep for a while, but those old American 1776 instincts are there, and that if the sleeping giant stands up and it's starting to get up, it's going to be devastating. And it's going to be hell on earth.
It's going to be cultural and tribal. 450 million guns, 80 million veterans, 40 million that have been in combat. Don't anybody tangle with them if it comes to that.
It's bad news. The military puts up a line, we'll crush the American people. Folks, no one can stop a guerrilla army of this size. We got Mike Rivero popping in for about 10 minutes with Bob Chapman on the kamikaze attack and the latest developments to get his perspective. That I tend to agree with on a lot of fronts. Too early to tell right now, though. We're going to get his view coming up. Bob, right now, and then when Mike leaves us, we'll get back into the economy. What's going on with the economy? Months ago, you said they were going to target Greece and Spain. The word was out. Now, Reuters is reporting that the Spanish government is looking at this being coordinated by Goldman Sachs and others. Again, you hit the nail right on the head. What's going on with the dollar? Interest rates going up. What's happening with gold going back up? What do you see happening?
Well, first of all, I wrote about Goldman 10 years ago when Greece and Italy were trying to qualify, and the term I used was they're Mickey Mousing the books. And the rest of the Eurozone at that time, which today only makes up 16 of the 27 European Union members, they looked the other way. They wanted that union, and so they got it. And those books have been phony all along. And as we have found out, it's been proven now that Goldman Sachs arranged the whole thing. Where is it going? I think it creates a sense of urgency now